away, Charlie Pincham's name was added to the suspects list. While Celestine answered questions, investigators combed her house for more clues. Besides the bedroom closet, traces of blood were found in the kitchen. The drain pipes were removed and the traps emptied to see what might have accumulated there.
Almost 100 articles of evidence from there, including blood drippings, swabbings. Took the sink apart and removed, later turned out to be skull fragments inside the sink trap, the toilet. There was some hair and matter found inside there. From there, the whole thing exploded. The investigation took off.
By now, the victim's boyfriend, Original, heard police were looking for him and presented himself, along with an alibi. He was off the suspects list, at least for now. That left the equally mysterious Charlie Pincham and the grieving Celestine Payne. But detectives didn't know where Charlie Pincham was, and the forensic evidence didn't necessarily place Celestine Payne at the scene when the murder occurred. This wasn't the first time police had been to Payne's house. While reviewing the case, Detective Sergeant Ronald Humphrey remembered a prior incident.
There was a guy stabbed maybe about a year and a half before that, Eugene Cooper. I remember Eugene living there, but I never got to interview him. He was in intensive care unit at the hospital on a stab wound, and we couldn't get to speak to him.
Upon Cooper's release from the hospital, he refused to press charges and disappeared. Now, 18 months later, detectives tracked Eugene Cooper down to see if there was a connection. Cooper told them that while he lived in the house, Celestine wanted him to sign his life insurance policy over to her. He didn't do it, but let on that he had. Soon after, Charlie Pincham attacked him. Cooper didn't go to the police because he was frightened and wanted to put the whole ugly incident behind him. He picked out Pincham's photo from some mugshots. Because Cooper implicated him in this stabbing, it was more important than ever to locate him. Now that Eugene Cooper was talking, he had a lot more to say. And the case took another unexpected twist. He told police that Celestine had set several fires at her house for the insurance money. He also admitted that he helped Celestine move a body, but it wasn't the body of Tara Carter. Tara Carter had been found dead in a sleeping bag, and the investigation into her murder began to disclose other skeletons in Celestine Payne's closet.
Hey, honey.
According to Eugene Cooper, the death of Celestine's husband, Alfonso, years earlier, may not have been accidental. Prior to his death, Alfonso Payne had been suffering from severe hypertension and gout. He was being cared for by his wife, Celestine. In 1991, his body was found in a field across town. At the time, Alfonso's death was considered to be accidental, that he was doing drugs, wandered away, and collapsed. Now, 3.5 years later, Eugene Cooper told New Jersey police that he'd helped Celestine and her children dump Alfonso Payne's body on the other side of town. With Cooper's new information, detectives pulled Alfonso's medical records and autopsy report. They found that before his death, he had been too ill to even get out of bed, let alone get across town. The autopsy showed that the drugs in his system at the time of death weren't those prescribed for his medical condition, but high dosages of 5 kinds of tranquilizers and antidepressants, all prescribed for Celestine.
Hey, can you look the bed up? Yeah, sure.
Investigators had enough to get another search warrant for Payne's home. They found that besides the policy on her husband, Alfonso, and for fire damage, Payne also managed to get one on Eugene Cooper, even without his signature. It appeared that Celestine Payne may have killed her husband, and once again, insurance seemed to be the motive. They also found a policy on Tara Carter's life.
Looks like a couple of insurance.
This was strange because, like Cooper, she wasn't related to Payne. The policy provided a possible motive,
Eugene Cooper, I don't
but not
recognize
enough
that
evidence to arrest Celestine for murder.
You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being
By this
questioned.
time, Charlie Pincham had been found and arrested for stabbing Eugene Cooper. Eventually, he admitted to it, saying that Celestine Payne put him up to it.
Okay.
Then, investigators asked him what he
Be afraid,
knew
man.
about the Tara Carter
I know what's
murder.
going on in your conscience.
He said he was there and tried to stop it, but Celestine Payne killed her.
That's the only reason I did it.
Afterward, he admitted helping her move the body, using a
The
car
rest
she
of the
rented.
time,
They had what they needed to arrest Celestine Payne.
put your hands behind your back.
Then they tracked down the rental car. Cynthia McSweeney tested the trunk for traces of blood and found nothing. But her job wasn't finished. Her tests of the liner below the trunk carpet yielded different results.
When I analyzed the liner and did get a positive result, I began to think that perhaps the person had tried to clean up the area but had not done a thorough job.
As before, a genetic marker analysis of the blood proved it belonged to the victim, Tara Carter. Its presence in the trunk of a car rented by Celestine Payne linked the suspect to the crime.
You've got a pretty good racket.
Despite
going
the
here.
evidence, she
You have an
flatly
awful
denied
good
any
road.
wrongdoing.
I know he lied.
Like
He
many
wanted me to-
women who
No, he wanted
kill,
me
she
to
hoped
sleep
her
with him, but I
charm
wouldn't do
could
it.
mask her
To
guilt.
talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while any questions.
Detective Michael Casari didn't buy
You
it.
can decide to answer any questions now.
Celestine was a devious woman. She would look at you and say, "Child, I didn't do this murder," and almost melt into you. You know, I had nothing to do with this. I would never hurt anybody. And she's using her kids to kill people, including her own father. She's killing her friends. She's killing family people. She's evil. That's the only one word to put, an evil woman.
She passed that evil on to her daughter.
Oh, no, thank you.
Investigators learned that while Wendy pretended to be Tara's best friend, she also pretended to be Tara, at least long enough to sign a life insurance policy in Tara Carter's name.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Tara. You had a good night. Have a good night.
Once the policy was in effect, Tara Carter's days were numbered. The unwitting victim, lured into a
what's your
false
bag?
sense of security in Payne's home,
Hair looks so
was
pretty.
marked for death.
You look pretty.
It came quickly. Pincham admitted using a crowbar. Her body was stashed in the upstairs closet until it could be bundled and moved safely without being detected. Ultimately, the forensics clinched the case, and even Celestine Payne couldn't deny it. The bloodstains, the financial motive, and the opportunity all pointed to Payne, her daughter Wendy, and Charlie Pincham. When faced with the evidence, they plea bargained. Celestine Payne and Charlie Pincham received life, and Wendy Payne received 28 years.